Meeting minutes คลองเปรมประชากรบ้านมั่นคง Committee meeting at the Visionary Meeting Room, also known as the Tables of Promises. The Community Organization Development Institute, CODI, Bangkok, Thailand. Attendance: Present: Mr. Vichai Supasiri, CODI Officer; Ms. Yupin Wongprasad, Local Government Representative; Mr. Shada Bunlua, NGO Representative; Mr. Shaiwat Thongdi, Cooperative Finance Consultant; Mr. Basert Lersakun, Architect. Absent: Klong Prem Prachakon Community Representatives. Their absence noted, but seemingly inconsequential. Lakhok Neighborhood Residents. Their shares still warm from earlier rejection. Ngamongwan Neighborhood Residents. Respectfully, not invited. Meeting Objective: to discuss the new endeavor to redevelop slums along the Prem Prachakon Canal after the alleged success of Ban Man Khong project along the Lat Phrao Canal. Approval of previous minutes. Minutes on the previous meeting were read, summarizing discussions on Bangkok's housing crisis and the formation of informal settlements. Rapid urbanization and population growth in the 1960s led to the rise of informal settlements. Economic booms and busts transformed Bangkok into a sprawling condo land, leaving slums as a stark reminder of unmet housing needs. Just as the minutes were approved, the fire sprinkler suddenly burst. And similarly to how they dealt with any other problem, the committee decided to ignore the water and carry on, waiting for someone else to show up and do something about it. Agenda items: 1. Progress report of Ban Man Khong program. Mr. Vichai from CODI proudly reported another year of success, gracefully glossing over past failures like Ban Athon and Ban Pracharat, buried in wasted budget just under the table. He reiterated that the Ban Man Khong program, or secure housing, was advertised as a community-based participatory program that aims to provide housing for low-income households, emphasizing that the collective finance model is a catalyst of community empowerment, a phrase he repeated so many times it lost its meaning. 2. Updates on early progress of Ban Man Khong along the Prem Prachakon Canal. The first group of participants in a new project will be those facing imminent eviction. But as for those who are unwilling to or cannot afford to participate, there will certainly be no direct actions to force them, because this is a voluntary program. A suggestion from Mr. Vichai was to just wait and let the social pressure do its work. He also pointed out the success of Khong Lat Phrao Ban Man Khong in 2016, ignoring the still existing strip of slum further along the same canal, similarly to how everyone ignored the water that was now flooding the room. To replicate this success, Mr. Prasad proposed giving Prem Prachakon Canal residents the existing design options generated by the so-called participatory process in the previous project, and use the cookie-cutter approach to reduce costs. 3. Budget allocation. Mr. Shaiwat presented the finance management model for the project. The residents will have to collectively save 10% of what they intend to borrow, and form a cooperative which will borrow money from CODI with a 4% charge. The cooperative will then on-lend money to the individual households, with some additional interest, of course. He confirmed that a small budget for interest rate subsidies and minor infrastructures will be enough, since the real financial burden will be on the residents anyway, and kindly requested the committee not to be too transparent when being asked about this, as it may discourage people from joining the program. 4. Discussion on the government's benefit of the program. Ms. Yupin speculated that the success of the project will help with the beautification of the canal and the wider cityscape, and that this accomplishment can be a substitute for an actual redistribution of resources. She also reassured everyone that in case the project fails, it is at the residents' own risk. Old business. Ms. Yupin reported yet another protest against building Ban Man Khong in Prem Prachakon Canal, this time from Lakhok neighborhood residents, who expressed concerns about flooding due to parts of the canal being filled, and demanded a public hearing. Mr. Vichai dismissed this as a waste of time since their opinions will not be considered anyway. New business. Mr. Shada read out complaints on the residents. The variety of topics include the struggle of loan repayments with additional rent elsewhere, due to the delayed construction of new houses, the internal community politics, the stress, and the additional labours required in order to pay back their debts for the next 15 years. The room listened sympathetically and proceeded with no further actions. The meeting was adjourned at 11:55 because the water level had reached the table. The committee was delighted to have found the most cost-effective way to produce housing by pushing nearly all responsibilities and risks to the residents. Everyone agreed that this program, despite not holistically solving the issues of informal settlements and the lack of affordable housing, would be a great governmental achievement, conveniently timed for the Prime Minister's upcoming election campaign. Next meeting. To be determined. Possibly after the next wave of resident protests.